Clashes between Operation Rescue and pro-choice advocates heat up in the South Bay. Good afternoon. More arrests as Operation Rescue sets its sights on Los Gatos. Today, 33 pro-life demonstrators and 2 pro-choice protesters were arrested outside the Choice Clinic on National Avenue. San Jose Police, Campbell Police, Sheriff's deputies, and the Highway Patrol are helping Los Gatos Police. Evan Rosen shows us what happened.
The pro-choice side calls this the most active confrontation so far, as Operation Rescue targets abortion clinics in the San Jose area. Outside a medical complex housing the Choice Clinic in Los Gatos, police put demonstrators on the jail bus any way they can.
You gotta understand. My message to them is really think it through. Really think it through. Did they really think that they would come to have to arrest Christians? If they really want to save children, who knows what future police officer is going to die here?
Police are charging most of those arrested under a recently passed state law barring protesters from blocking the entrances to medical clinics. Besides using that law, police are charging some protesters with trespassing and some with resisting arrest. Police say at first officers prevented patients from entering the clinic until they stabilized the crowd, but
the clinic is open, all the others are open. We're trying to escort everybody in that needs to get into any of the medical complexes.
What about forgiveness and shit?
Pro-choice activists insist patients are making it to their abortion appointments, and the pro-choice side, which has accused San Jose police of siding with pro-lifers, says it gives officers a B- this time.
These police have done a lot better than most of the other police have done since Friday night. I can't give them 100% A+ behavior, but they've, when we pointed out the ORs on this side, they moved them back.
Los Gatos police say their main mission is keeping both sides apart to prevent beliefs from escalating into violence. In Los Gatos, Evan Rosen, Action 36 News.
Today's arrests bring the total number so far during the Operation Rescue protests to 94. Michelle?
Late this afternoon, the Los Gatos police chief denounced Operation Rescue's anti-abortion tactics. He says the group prevented people from seeking medical services offered at the Los Gatos building. He also claims the action jeopardized the safety of the community.
There were approximately 40 police officers driving Code 3, red lights and siren, to this facility in an effort to protect the officers who were on scene to begin with and to prevent a riot from occurring. And as a result of that, a large number of innocent citizens in both San Jose, Campbell, and Los Gatos were placed at risk.
Chief Todd says the protests could also have prevented officers from responding to other emergency calls. Downtown San Jose is now the focus of attention tonight as Operation Rescue's national leader prepares for a public rally at the Civic Auditorium. Reporter Renee Kemp is standing by live with the details. Renee.
Michelle, in the wake of those arrests today, the Operation Rescue organization is scheduled to hold its biggest rally yet of the 10-day Cities of Refuge campaign here at the Civic Auditorium tonight. Randall Terry is expected to address a crowd of about 2,500 people. A few people have already begun to arrive. The police were here at about 5 o'clock this morning, sweeping the building for bombs. They used bomb-sniffing dogs just to make sure that the building is in fact secured for tonight's rally. This obviously because this is a very controversial issue, but also because Randall Terry is a very controversial figure. He founded Operation Rescue. He's a former car salesman who decided that this was an issue important enough for him to found this organization, and since then, many people have marched under its banner. Among them, Mike Ross of Operation Rescue, who's here preparing for tonight's rally. Mike, maybe you can come over and tell me what you hope to accomplish tonight by having the founder here speaking to the OR people.
Well, here we are at day 5 of the Cities of Refuge event in San Jose, and we seem to be building momentum. And if anyone can add impetus to that momentum, Randall Terry certainly can. He's a dynamic man. He's a man who can motivate his people. And as he said before, if abortion is murder, then we need to act like it's murder. And I believe that Randall Terry here tonight is going to inspire people to act like abortion is murder.
I know you were originally anticipating anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000 people participating in the Operation Rescue event. You've had considerably fewer than that. Do you hope that after tonight's rally that somehow people will be fired up and the numbers will increase?
I'm not sure where those numbers came from, because we have all along said that we did not have any idea what the numbers would be. We said that, you know, if we had 50 people come out or 500, we really wouldn't know. We have seen hundreds come out, about 400 to 500 come out to a rally. We hope to see about 1,000 tonight, and we expect to see more people as the week increases. In fact, over the last few days, we've seen many people get involved for the first time. Every single rally, we're seeing first-timers, and we're also seeing people who are actually willing to go out and do what we call die to themselves and take up their cross and actually get arrested to save children's lives.
All right, Mike Ross, Operation Rescue, thank you very much for joining me.
Sure.
Of course, we'll have a live report probably tonight at 11 indicating how this rally went today. You can probably expect a lot of pro-choice people to demonstrate outside this rally today because, once again, it is the biggest event that the Operation Rescue organization has held since they began the Cities of Refuge campaign. Reporting live from the Civic Auditorium, Renee Kemp. Michelle?
Renee, just a quick question. The Randall Terry is expected at 7 o'clock tonight in just a couple of hours. Any sense that people are already starting to mill around the area, getting ready?
Very little of that. There are lots of police. There are about 4 police cars altogether, 2 on each side of the building. So there is a police presence, but so far people haven't begun to arrive, but there's still 2 full hours before he's scheduled to speak, too.
Okay, thank you. Renee Kemp reporting live from downtown San Jose.
Good evening, everyone. A heated confrontation and dozens of arrests mark day 6 of Operation Rescue's local anti-abortion crusade.
The latest target of the so-called Cities of Refuge campaign is a women's clinic in Los Gatos. Daniel Garza's in the newsroom with more on the escalating battle of nerves between pro-life and anti-abortion forces. Dan.
Stacy, members of the anti-abortion organization launched what they call a rescue to try and prevent women from entering the Choice Medical Clinic. What followed was a loud confrontation with pro-choice advocates, with more than 100 police officers keeping both sides apart. This morning, a quiet neighborhood in Los Gatos suddenly became the latest battleground in the war over abortion. Across the street from the Women's Choice Clinic, anti-abortion activists knelt down in prayer while others sang hymns. They were ready to challenge the law. In front of the clinic, pro-choice activists linked arms, countering the prayers and hymns with a chorus of chants. A column of police officers stood between all the shouting, singing, and chanting, keeping both sides apart. 2 members of Operation Rescue crawled across the street in an attempt to break through the gauntlet of pro-choice supporters. One woman was turned back by a police officer. The other was arrested. Some women, their faces hidden, were escorted into the clinic by pro-choice supporters. They were bombarded with voices from all sides. About 20 Operation Rescue activists sat down in front of the clinic as they tried to block the entrance. Police moved in, making arrests and taking them to a waiting bus. When it was over, each side, as expected, declared victory.
It was a very successful rescue today. The police had the roads blocked off for blocks around here, and I didn't see a lot of business come through here anyway, so we feel happy about this rescue.
I think things went really well. We did keep the clinic open. We kept the pathway on this side that kept that women were able to come in. They pushed against us, and we were able to stay there and keep the clinic open. That was the most important thing, and we are showing them that wherever they go, we will be there, and we will be there in more numbers than they have.
The Los Gatos police chief says that 10 carloads of Operation Rescue members arrived at the clinic early this morning and tried to storm the clinic. At the time, only 12 Los Gatos police officers were on duty. They were obviously taken by surprise, and a near riot broke out. A number of law enforcement agencies were called in to keep the peace, including the Highway Patrol, San Jose Police, and the Sheriff's Department. Police arrested 35 people today. All but 2 were anti-abortion activists. Police say 2 pro-choice supporters were arrested for assault. That's the story from the newsroom. Doug Stacy, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
Well, the cost of policing Operation Rescue's anti-abortion protest is near the $500,000 mark tonight. Close to 200 San Jose police officers each day have been keeping peace between the protesters and on both sides of the abortion issue. Off-duty officers are getting paid time and a half during the demonstrations. It also cost taxpayers $12,000 for the police to rent tents at Elmwood Jail. That's where arrested protesters are booked and detained. San Jose Police Chief Lou Covarrubias says the total cost could reach $2.5 million. The founder of Operation Rescue, Randall Terry, is expected in San Jose for a rally tonight at 7 o'clock in the Civic Auditorium. Terry is perhaps the best known and most charismatic Operation Rescue leader. He was recently sentenced to 6 months in jail for trying to give President Clinton a fetus during the Democratic convention. We'll have an interview with Terry on KNTV News at 6. And we're keeping a close watch on the abortion battle in the San Jose area. We'll have the latest news on those events here on the San Jose News. Latest medical clinic targeted by the anti-abortion group.
This is day 6 of the so-called Cities of Refuge campaign. And today's target, the Choice Medical Clinic in Los Gatos. As Daniel Garza shows us tonight, this was by far the loudest, most tense clash between anti-abortion and pro-choice combatants.
The Los Gatos police chief says about 10 carloads of Operation Rescue members arrived at the clinic early this morning and tried to storm the building. At the time, only 12 Los Gatos police officers were on duty. They were obviously taken by surprise. A number of law enforcement agencies were called in to keep the peace, including the Highway Patrol, San Jose Police, and the Sheriff's Department. Police arrested 35 people today. All but 2 were anti-abortion activists. Police say 2 pro-choice supporters were arrested for assault. People who live in this quiet Los Gatos neighborhood were told to be prepared, but they didn't expect anything like this.
We're performing all over the landscaping, and it's just, I think it's about ready to get a little bit out of hand, possibly.
This loud, boisterous demonstration comes at the midpoint of Operation Rescue's campaign, a campaign that thus far has not lived up to its billing. Do you think you've been as effective as you could be?
That's hard to say, just because there's so many pro-choice advocates in this area that we're really being very wise about what we're doing.
And we have been successful in beating them off in the Bay Area over the last 5 years, and in the last 3 years there has not been a major action by Operation Rescue because they can't muster the numbers.
There are still 4 days left in the Cities of Refuge campaign, and if today is any indication, the confrontations could become more intense. In Los Gatos, Daniel Garza, KNTV, the San Jose News Channel.
14 of those taken into custody had bail set at $5,000 because they were recently arrested at other demonstrations.
For taxpayers keeping
International right now, and she has more on what Terry will be doing here. Beth.
Well, Doug, Terry is here to bolster the Operation Rescue forces. He arrived from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is also one of Operation Rescue's 7 cities of refuge. Now, looking quite out of character in his Texas cowboy hat, Terry was met by California's Operation Rescue leaders at the airport. Terry says he is somewhat disappointed in Operation Rescue's low turnout here in San Jose and around the nation, but he stopped short of calling it a mistake to have diluted Operation Rescue's forces among 7 states instead of just 1. But Terry says not to count Operation Rescue out yet.
Well, if we are on the ropes, I assume it's going to be like Muhammad Ali against Joe Foreman in Africa. It was the rope of dope. Maybe we'll be on the rope, but then we're going to come back and we're going to prevail. I mean, let's face it, this organization has gone through more ups and downs over the past 6 years than any pro-life organization in the world. And we've always been able to come back, and I have no doubt that we're going to come back from this and do this right.
Now, Terry and Operation Rescue have lost many anti-abortion allies recently because of Operation Rescue's new hard-edged tactics of targeting doctors who perform abortions and harassing them. The targeting led to the death of 1 doctor in Florida who does perform abortions. But Terry says he's here to rally the forces at San Jose's Civic Auditorium at 7 o'clock tonight. Now, Terry is also facing a 6-month jail sentence that was handed down because he tried to give President Clinton a fetus during the Democratic convention in New York last summer. Right now, he says he's out on bail. He's out on bond, rather. Back to you, Stacey and Doug.
Beth, why did he step down as national leader of Operation Rescue?
Well, he decided to step down in 1990. He handed the reins over to the Reverend Keith Tusi. He wanted to get into radio, he says, and he now has a Randall Terry Live show on a Christian broadcast service. Also, we understand from some other sources that his wife was tired of him being in jail all the time, but he denied that today here at the airport. All right, thanks very much, Beth.
We're going to be closely monitoring the events at tonight's Operation Rescue rally in downtown San Jose. Pro-choice supporters are expected to be on hand. If anything happens, we're going to take you there for a live report later this newscast. And, of course, we're going to have a rundown of all of today's events at 11 on Nightside. So stay right here to the San Jose News Channel throughout the evening for complete team coverage of the Cities of Refuge.